babes, I need to do my nails. Like, as you can see, I have some cracked ones, some missing ones. Child, there's a lot going on. So I get a lot of questions about how I do my nails at home, so I put together a tutorial for you guys. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and like this video, and let's get started. So this drill here I got from Amazon. I'll link it below, but as you can see, it comes with this control here for me to adjust the speed and the direction of the drill, and then it also comes with these different drill heads. So the first thing we need to do is remove like this shiny gel top coat so that we can get to the actual like dip powder, which is the hard surface that's on my nails that protects it. We have to remove the shiny like gel top coat polish in order for us to actually like soak the nail and soak off the dip powder. So I'm just taking my time doing this and going over each nail until it's all gone. All right, so I'm just like kind of wiping off all of that dust that we got from when we were drilling. So the next thing we're gonna do is actually soak our nails. So I'm gonna wrap them in foil and acetone. I'm creating my own nail wraps. They actually sell nail wraps, but this is the cheaper way. You can just do it yourself. You don't have to like actually spend money on real nail wraps. So what you'll need for that is some aluminum foil or tin foil, whatever you like to call it, and some cotton balls. So I have really giant cotton balls, so I'm just breaking them up into smaller pieces that will be big enough to cover my actual fingertip. And then I'm taking this 100% pure acetone. You can kind of find this anywhere, the dollar store, Walmart, any beauty supply store or drugstore, whatever. And then I'm folding this and tearing it to create like square size or rectangle size pieces, small enough again to wrap up my fingertip. So that's just what I'm doing here. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just eyeballing it, folding and tearing as I go. Okay, so after I prep my cotton balls and my pieces of foil, I'm gonna take a piece of cotton and saturate it fully in the acetone, and sometimes it like drips. If it does that, that's fine. The more saturated, the better. And I kind of like press it down onto my nail, and then I take a piece of foil and I just wrap my nail up, or wrap my finger up in the foil. So I wrap it around, like going around my finger. And then I take the top part and I either fold it forward or I fold it back, and then I kind of like squeeze it together so it's on there really tight and snug as I can get it. You want to kind of do it this way, get it as tight as you can, like as tight as you can get the wrap, because you want to keep the heat inside of the nail wrap. What ends up happening is the heat mixed with the acetone is what breaks down the dip powder so that it actually like comes off. So you just want to, again, take your time with this. I know it can be like a little awkward trying to wrap your nails, especially with the hand that's less dominant. So what I like to do is do each finger at a time on opposite hands and leave my thumbs and my index fingers for the end, because I use those to actually wrap. So I try to just leave those until the end. And then I let my nail wraps sit on for at least like 20 minutes. I feel like that's enough time for them to actually like come off with ease. So after they've sat for about 20 to maybe even 30 minutes sometimes, what I do is when it's time to remove them, I remove the whole thing at a time. But as I'm pulling it off, I kind of try to like swipe and wipe off whatever's on my nail with the cotton ball. I know it may sound kind of weird, you may not be able to understand what I'm saying, but as I'm pulling it off, I kind of like press the cotton ball down up against the nail so it kind of like wipes as it's coming off. Like you see here, I'm kind of going back and forth sometimes to get it off, and sometimes it doesn't all come off like really clean. If that happens, you may just have to re-wrap it that happens to me too, you just rewrap it and let it sit on for like another 5 or 10 minutes until it comes off with, but it should come off with ease and super clean. You shouldn't have to do any like picking or scraping or drilling or any of that stuff to get it off. That's why I like the dip powder, because it comes off super easy and super clean. But obviously you can see, because I'm recording, I'm having a little bit of trouble. It's giving me a hard time. So I'm just like, we're scraping off. I had to get a little cotton ball and some more acetone to kind of get everything off. But I got everything off clean. So once you get all of the old dip powder off, I take this buffing block and I buff my nails. This is to actually, if there is anything left on there, it'll take it off. And then also it is to kind of get the surface of your nail like kind of gritty, and just to get all the oils and stuff off, to make sure that there's nothing on your nail, so that when you do the dip powder again, it'll adhere and stick to it really easy and it won't like lift or anything. And then after I buff the surface of my nail, I then take a nail file and I do any like reshaping or cleaning up. If I want to file them down shorter or any of that stuff, if I want to cut the length, I would do that in this step. But I want to keep the length and the shape. I just wanted to clean it up a little bit. And then finally, after I file, I go in and buff one more time with the buffing block, just to make sure that none of my nail tips or edges are like, jagged. Make sure everything is like smooth. And then this is a really important step. This brush, I'm just brushing off all of the dust off the nail, again, to make sure that the nail bed is clean. So then I take this wooden stick and I'm using this to push my cuticles back. I wouldn't recommend you use a wooden stick. A metal cuticle pusher is probably better, but I didn't have one, so this is what I'm using. But do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so after the nails are prepped, we can actually go ahead and apply the dip powder. So this is the powder here, and then you also need the base gel, which is what the dip powder is going to stick to. I just use the Kiss brand. Now, I wouldn't recommend either of these per se, but this is what I have, so I'm just using it until it's gone. This brand I will link below. I got it from Amazon, but like I said, I don't love it, so you may want to find a better one. And so the first thing that you want to do to actually apply the dip powder is, first thing, you just paint the gel base coat on. So you just polish it on like normal regular nail polish, but you want to do this in thin layers. So, and then I also, for the first coat, I don't start like directly at the nail bed, like at the cuticle. I start a little bit higher than where my actual cuticle line is, because that keeps that area from not looking so like bulky, and you don't have to do as much work at the end. So once you apply a thin coat of the base gel, then you just take the dip powder and you dip your finger in on like an angle, not just like straight down, but like on kind of like a 45-degree angle. And yeah, you tap off the excess and that's it. So I'm going to show you one more time exactly what I do. Again, you just paint on a thin coat. Make sure you get like cover the entire nail surface, and I also like to get the tips of my nails to kind of encapsulate it so that it doesn't break as easy. Dip it in at a 45-degree angle and then just tap off the excess. It's important to remember when you're doing the dip to do one nail at a time, because you don't want that base gel coat to dry or get messed up or wipe off or something like that. So just do one nail at a time. It may seem like time consuming, but it really actually doesn't take as long as you would think. All right, so after I've dipped each nail, I'm going to dust off the extra excess dust that's everywhere. I'm going to do that before I go in with a second coat. And this time when I apply the base gel, I'm applying it directly at the cuticle. I'm not starting like a little higher like I did the last time. And then I'm just making sure that I cover the entire surface of my nail with the base coat. And then after I apply it, I'm going to dip it in the powder again. And once I dip each finger on both my hands, I'm going to again dust off the excess powder. So after you do all of your dip powder coats that you're going to do, you want to take this activator, and this is what is going to actually make the powder hard like acrylic. So this is like a really liquidy consistency. A little goes a long way. So you just want to make sure that you cover the entire nail with the activator liquid. So I just wait about 30 seconds for the activator to dry so I can make sure the nails are hardened completely. And then once they are dry and hardened, I go in with the nail file again and just to smooth out my nails, making sure that the tips are smooth and not like, you know, snaggy or anything like that. Just cleaning up the nails and the dip powder application that I did. And then I go in with my drill again. This time I'm using a different head. This is to kind of like buff the surface. I'm smoothing out any like lumps or bumps or anything that I didn't get correct when I was applying the dip powder. I'm just making sure that the surface of my nail is actually like smooth. And then again, I go in with my buffing block to smooth out the nail surface even more and to prep the nail surface for the actual gel polish. So again, you want to make sure the nails are clean, and now it's time to polish. So this is a gel lamp that I'm using. This is the brand polish. I think it's called Modelonis or Model Ones. I don't know, but I'll link it. I have the base and the top coat, and then these are the two colors that I'm using, this brown and like this nudie color. So first I am polishing with the base coat. So I'm applying just one thin coat of the base coat. When you're applying base gel coat, you want to get the base coat really, really thin. And then once I apply that, I'm just going to cure it for 60 seconds with the UV light. All right, so now I'm going in with my polish and doing the design. I don't know what happened to the footage, y'all. I'm so sorry, but you'll see what I did in the next clip. I really just freehanded. There is no like method, rhyme, or reason to it. It was just a freehand. I will show you the inspiration pics that I used, and I wanted it to be like fall, you know, fall colors. So that's why I picked the brown and the nude. But yeah, so I'm just curing it. I did 2 coats of this, and so I like to cure it for 2 minutes, so 60 seconds, and then when that runs out, I do another 60 seconds. All right, so now I'm taking that nude color and just putting some of it on a piece of foil so that I can complete the design. This thin, like, I guess this is called like a line brush. I don't know. It's like a nail art brush. I got that from Amazon as well. I'll link it below. I mentioned it in one of my vlogs when I was like ordering all my nail supplies. So all I'm doing is like dipping it in the nude color, and I'm basically like just making an outline of the wave shape design that I did with the chocolate brown. So that's all I'm doing here. And for this, honestly, you just have to take your time. Like, do not rush. Like, just take your time. This is part of the reason why I like to do my nails, because it's relaxing for me. Like, I'm taking my time. I'm not in a rush. It's like therapeutic. I'm in my zone. I get to be creative. So yeah. And a little pro tip, while you're doing any designs, if you need to clean up any mistakes, you can do that with alcohol, but you want to make sure you do it while the gel polish is still wet, because once you set it, like, you literally can forget it. Forget trying to clean up any mistakes, because it's not going to happen. You would have to start over. So I'm just taking my time and doing a little bit at a time, like part by part, and I'm going over it and perfecting it. And again, I'm not a professional, so it's not like super 100% like perfect, sharp, clean lines. Like, I don't even care about that either, because again, I'm not a professional. But it gave the look that I wanted, and in the end, I actually was like very satisfied. So yeah. So once I got finished doing my design, again, I cured it under the light for 2 minutes. And then the last thing is just applying the top coat, which again, I dried it under the light for 2 minutes. And when I'm applying the top coat, again, I like to like wrap it around my nail tips, like cap my nail tips, because I find that this helps the polish to last longer and like helps my nails not to break. So yeah, babes, this is how the final design turned out. I'm gonna go and attempt to do my right hand now, because that is so awkward. I could never have done that on camera, but I hope that you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, babes.